Hi guys, my name is Dee and I am assuming that you are here because you are interested in this 90-day challenge I'm doing. So I will get right into it. So what is this 90-day challenge? Well, it is set up as a way to get you ready to hit the ground running come January 1st with your goals for 2021 or any year that you watch this on. Whatever the following year is, the whole point of doing this now in December or the end of November is so that, by the time January 1st comes around, you've already started laying the groundwork for whatever your goals are for the following year, and that you're able to better execute them because you've given yourself 30 days to kind of feel your way around your new processes and the new things that you're trying to achieve for yourself. Now, I do this for myself personally. I've been doing this for the past 3-4 years. Of course, 2020 was 2020. We're not even going to get into it because that's just trauma. But honestly, though, I do think that a lot of us have always said we wished that life had a pause button, and that's exactly what this year was. I'll do a video about it at some point. But back to this challenge, though. All right. So for the next 90 days, because I am doing this with you, although my day starts today, I'm going to upload this as day 1, which is going to be December 1st. But for the next 90 days, we are going to decide on a goal that we want to achieve for ourselves, or a habit that we want to create or break, whichever one, right? And then we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we achieve this goal or change this habit or create this habit or get rid of this habit. I have set aside some basic ground rules here, and I'm going to read off my notes because, this is just where we are. So yes, so 1, choose a goal that excites you. If you're not excited about it, chances are you're not really going to stick with it. Our brains are wired to lean more towards things that make us happy and bring us pleasure. So if you're not going to be happy about this goal, then maybe you need to either reframe it, and that way when you talk to yourself about it, it's not from a place of frustration or anger or lack, but it's from a place of excitement and from a place of excitement, period. I'll give you an example. I spend about a minute or 2 standing under cold water every day before my shower. If you've never heard of Wim Hof, look him up. It's part of the Wim Hof method. I did this challenge earlier on this year and it was amazing and I loved every bit of it. But for me, it wasn't that crazy to do it because I'm also the same person that woke up a couple of years ago and I was like, I'm gonna do a polar plunge. So being in extremely cold water for me was nothing foreign. But now, even the idea of doing the polar plunge, right? Not even all of my friends were like, why are you gonna do that to yourself? But it excited me. So I did it anyway. And I loved it. And because I did it and I had a positive experience, the idea of standing under cold water for 2-3 minutes every day does not scare me. It's something that I do with ease. It's not something I have to fight myself to do. We struggle, and a lot of times we will lose when we fight ourselves. Right? It's one thing to reframe something and inspire yourself to do something versus fighting yourself to do it, because now there's like an internal conflict and it never really ends well. All right, so that's number 1. Choose a goal that excites you. If it doesn't excite you, reframe it to make it excite you. An instance where I have reframed a goal that was normally not something I looked forward to, walking 2 miles a day. That's actually part of my 90-day process too, like walking 2 miles a day. No ifs or buts. Do I really want to walk 2 miles a day? I mean, yeah, some days I do and sometimes I just don't. I mean, I'm fluffy right now, right? But because I don't want to be fluffy anymore, and it's not even for like the aesthetics of it all, because I have a cute shape. I might be fluffy, but I have a cute shape. But I'm at the age that I'm at right now, and I don't have any children. I plan on having children later on in life, so I want to make sure that I am healthy It's for health reasons. I need to get my body moving. I am heavier right now than I've ever been, ever. I'm at my heaviest. I am actually uncomfortable in my body. So it's that discomfort that's inspiring the need to do this 2-mile walk thing and eventually get to the point where I'm running 2 miles a day. But right now I'm just going to be walking. So yeah. So I'm going to start with a 2-mile walk and I'll graduate to jogging and then eventually I'll be running 2 miles. But for now, it's walking. And walking sometimes can be a struggle because I'm like, but like the sun. You know how it is. Like we'll give ourselves all these excuses about not doing what we need to do. So how I reframe this for myself is that I'm not torturing myself by walking. You know, it's not a, oh my God, it's just one more thing I have to get off my list. I have now, my walks are part of my active meditation. I love meditating. I meditate daily. So now I've reframed my walks as, you know what, it's just time for me to be outside with nature and then just enjoy that. So that brings me joy. And because that thought alone brings me joy, it makes this task that much more easier. It's not as burdensome as, oh my God, I have to go outside and walk because I don't want to be fat. I mean, it's true, but the other one is also true too. I'm going outside because I'm just spending time with nature and it's kind of just time for me to connect and ground. And that makes me happier. That excites me more than, I have to run outside to lose weight. Yeah, no. Okay, so there you go. Get excited about your goal. If your initial thought process around what you're trying to achieve is not something that leaves you happy or leaves you excited or gives you any sense of joy, reframe it. Reframe it and come at it from a different angle that does bring you joy. Because believe it or not, it exists. I don't care what it is you want to do. I don't care what it is you want to do. Whatever goal you have, if you can't find a place, like if you can't find a way to come at it from a place of joy, you're not looking hard enough. And I will gladly reframe it for you. If you want to drop it in the comments, I will reach out to you and I will work with you on reframing it. It's definitely possible. All right, so that's the first part. Okay, so number 2, you want to choose a SMART goal. Make sure that your goal is specific. So specific means that you are very clear on what it is you're trying to do. In my case, I'm recording a video a day for the next 90 days, period. Right? That's very specific. It has to be measurable. So if I don't record a video a day for the next 90 days, guess how many videos you guys are going to see? Not many. Right? It has to be attainable. You have to be able to do things daily towards this goal. Me, it means sitting here in front of this camera and recording this video. For you, it is whatever it is you want to do. A goal that's just like big and fluffy would be me saying, I want to get 100,000 users on YouTube. That's my goal. Yeah, that can be my goal. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Yeah, I can get to 100,000 people. Is it attainable? Absolutely. But what am I doing daily? So you want to break it down to the point where you can actually point to something that you do on a daily basis that helps you achieve this goal. Going too big sometimes can get overwhelming. So you want to just bring it in a little bit and just say, every day I can do this little step. This is the little step I can take on a daily basis to help me get to where I need to go. All right. So specific, measurable, attainable. Why'd I just blank on the R? I just blanked out on the R for SMART goals. This is so weird. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. That was so weird. I totally blanked out on the R for the SMART goals acronym, but R isn't realistic. Oh my God. Oh my God. So yes, so you want your goal to be realistic. I can have the goal that I want to be Beyonce. Is that realistic though? Right. And don't get me wrong, by saying realistic, I'm not saying don't set crazy goals for yourself, because crazy goals honestly are some of the best goals. If your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. Big goals are going to be crazy, right? But it has to be realistic. Like me saying I want to be Beyonce is not realistic. There's already a Beyonce in the world and she's doing a very good job at being Beyonce, right? But me saying that I want to attain the same level of success as her, and I can lay out, like literally lay out a plan that will get me there, that's realistic. So I'm not going to be her. That's weird and also unrealistic. But I can lay out a plan that will help me attain this level of success that she has attained, with a little planning from myself and some help from above, right? And by above, I mean the spirit world, but we'll get into that later. Yes. Cool. So is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And finally, is it time-based? 90 days. So you're giving yourself 90 days to do whatever this goal is for 90 days straight. Humans respond better to systems. I've seen this with myself over the years when I've tried things or changing different things about myself. I need triggers to help get me do the next thing. That's just how my brain functions. I understand that not everybody is wired the same way. And maybe I shouldn't say humans. I should say some people. And I am some people. You know, some people respond very well to like rigid programs where it's like, you do this and this is how you follow the steps and da-da-da. I'm a rebel. I'm like, I won't intentionally put myself or others in danger, and I won't do anything on purpose that puts me or anybody else in jail. But sometimes like people are like, do this, and I'm like, why? Why? Does it make sense to me? Does it work for me? And where I am doesn't fit into my life. That's another thing that I want you guys to take away from this is it's easier to stick with something if you have it fit into your life versus making your whole life fit into this thing. Do you get what I mean? Like, your life is your life. This thing is a thing. It's easier to fit the thing into your life versus changing your whole life to now accommodate this one thing. Now, incrementally, yes, you can get to a point where your whole life changes because you changed one thing. That's a fact, right? But it's a process. It's a process. Okay, so we worked on the SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time. It's timed. It's timely. You have a time limit on it. The next thing I want to just talk about is when you're deciding on what it is that you want to do, right? When you're working on these goals, and of course you're going to spend the first 30 days of this process. I'm mainly just figuring out how you're going to now fit this goal and this habit into your life that you're now creating, right? You want to be very clear on your why. Why does this thing matter to you? So you have to have the desire to want to make this change. You have to have the desire to want to see this through for whatever reason you're doing it for, right? So be very clear on your why. Also be clear on your how. How are you going to do this daily? Remember, you need to take a step towards this every single day, right? So be clear on your why, be clear on your how. So are you physically able to do this? Are you physically able to see this through? Are you physically able to make this change? Figure that out, right? And then your when. I have a morning process that it's almost like a domino effect. It's like I wake up, I go to the bathroom, I jump in the shower, I brush my teeth, I come out, I make my bed, I make my tea, I meditate. Now, there have been days when it doesn't go in a specific order, but because I have trained myself to do that because I have that system, You know, when I don't have time to do any one of those things, my brain always like, it's almost like I have this nagging feeling. I'm like, oh my God, something is missing. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't meditate today. Okay, fine. Then I'll make time throughout my day to meditate. It happens. And I want to say it's human nature to do things like that. Like, we all have a process. Like, we all have many processes that we live our lives by, you know? Like, no one has to tell you to like brush your teeth in the morning, but you've done it so many times that it's almost automatic. And when you leave the house without brushing your teeth in the morning, you suddenly feel your teeth and you're like, oh my God, my mouth feels weird. And then you rectify it. Like, you find a way to get that feeling of, ooh, my mouth feels minty fresh. It's that feeling. It's the best feeling ever. All right. Oh yeah. So create a system. Create a system for yourself. So that's what the triggers are for. When you're first starting out with creating a system, you have to have something that reminds you. Because remember, if this is something that's very foreign and very new to you, something has to remind you to do this. So figure out what your triggers or what your prompts are for you to actually do the thing. For me, with recording these videos, honestly, I haven't figured out my prompt for the videos, but I know I have to do them. When I figure out my prompt, I'll share it. All right. Then, so creating systems was number 4. It kind of tied into the triggers situation. It tied into the triggers part. But yeah, so have your trigger and then create a system where you can just integrate this into your everyday schedule and your everyday process. I need to get better at knowing where I'm looking on this thing, because I'll look at myself and I know it looks like I'm looking at something else, but I'm actually looking at myself. But if I look over here, eye contact. All right, number 5. This may be hard for the A-types, and it's okay. But understand that life happens. There is gonna be a day where you don't quite get this thing that you've now given yourself the task of doing every day done. And my rule of thumb is there's 24 hours in a day. You sleep for maybe 8 of them. If you have a regular 9 to 5, you're working for maybe 8, 10, 12 of them. Depending on what the thing is, I'm pretty sure you can squeeze it into your day at some point before you go to bed. But if you can't, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just do it tomorrow. The only rule here is you're not allowed to skip more than 2 days. Because if you skip more than 2 days, then it's like, dude, come on. You dropped the ball on yourself. Pick it back up. Let's start again at 0. Right? So for it to still be part of the 90-day process, you cannot miss more than 2 days. So day 1 is a given. Day 2, maybe you need to just readjust a few things. Because again, life happens. But if it gets to day 3, you're starting back at 0 and working your way back up again to 90. I can't with myself right now. I think I've been talking for too long. All right. But most importantly, number 6 for me is a huge one. Just be kind to yourself throughout this process. Here's the thing. Not everyone responds well to like drill sergeant like mentality. I know I don't, so if you're doing this challenge with me, I would love to cater to you, but I cannot. I can give you the tools that I use and then have you implement them in your life, whatever way works for you. I'm okay with that. I know that I've become very conscious about how I speak to myself. And I would love for you guys to do the same thing while you're doing this with me. If you're going to be harsh on yourself, it's not going to change what has already happened, because what's already happened has already happened. But if anything, it may motivate you, but depending on your personality type and the kind of feedback you respond to positively, you may actually be hurting yourself by being harsh on yourself. So if I miss a day, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, I am insert words that describe everything I do not want to be. You know, I'm going to give myself grace. And I'm going to be like, you know what, kid, today was a rough day. But let's just make sure that you have everything set up so that tomorrow you can get this done. We're not always going to get it right. We're not always going to get it done exactly when we want to get it done, but we can get it done. It's just a matter of committing to doing it to the best of our ability, right? So yeah, rule number 6 is the biggest, most important rule for all of us doing this together. And especially after the year we've had, you know, I know everyone's kind of struggling with getting back to their normal or getting accustomed to this new normal. But just give yourself the grace to understand that it's going to take time. You know, whether time is a day, 3 weeks, 90 days, a year, it's just going to take time. All that matters is that, you know, you are kind to yourself, you're giving yourself grace, and you're committed to the things that you are deciding to, you know, do. Like you're actually following through on the things that you decide to do. Being off by a day or two is not going to break the process. That's like saying if I have a donut, I'm going to gain 10 pounds right now. That's how I feel. That may be how I feel, but the reality of it is, no, it's not. You're going to have a donut. You may feel like, I don't know, depending on what your relationship with donuts is, it may feel really good. It may not. It's what you do once you realize that it feels good or doesn't feel good that really matters the most, and how it ties into this life that you're trying to create for yourself. Every single day and every single moment that we're awake, we have the ability to either nurture the garden that is our lives, or not really abandon it, but like not nurture it. I don't know what the opposite of nurture is. I can't think of it right now. You know, but definitely negative self-talk is literally, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. If you wouldn't say the things you say to yourself to the person that you love the most, then you shouldn't be saying them, because honestly, the person that you love the most out of everybody in this whole wide world should be yourself first. All right. So, yeah, that's the 90-day challenge. I know, change gears. It got set there for a second. Let's not do that. I don't know what this is, but yeah, I'll stop doing it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is it. The 90-day challenge is on and popping. I will be recording these videos every single day for the next 90 days. Even if it's a video of me saying, guys, I can't. Today is just not a great day. You are getting a video from me every day for the next 90 days. I am so excited to be doing this. I think more than anything, I'm more excited about the shifts that I am going to see in myself and whatever you guys share with your journeys over the next 90 days. Yes, let's. All right, I am going to get off camera now. I don't know why my eyes hurt, but here goes nothing. But we're in this together, so it's all love. Yay! Thank you so much for tuning in. Take a quick screenshot of this summary of the challenge, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more updates. All right, see you around.